Actually, we had these, in Canada, we have these little bubblegum double bubbles. And if you save the inside wrapper, like 10 of them, you can send away and get like a free prize. So it was a camera. So this was, I saved up all, I was all excited. I saved up all my wrappers. I think it was like 20 wrappers, and I mailed away, and I waited for weeks to get this camera, and it was my first camera that I got. I think I was 8 years old. So I was very excited. And I still don't think I ever processed that roll of film. I still have it in a box somewhere. I'm curious to see what those photos look like. I went back to school when I was 26, and I started assisting the first year. I was actually pretty lucky. I think I was one of the first students in the class, I think of 30, that got the first job. So I remember leaving school a couple months earlier to do my first assisting studio job, and so it was pretty cool. And I assisted for 2 or 3 years with some top professional shooters in Toronto, and then during that time I actually started shooting myself, obviously, like small jobs here and there, building up my confidence, my experience. And I was in fashion, I did food photography, I went back to fashion, editorial, bounced around, but my favorite is actually working with people. I really like the psychology of photography. It's having that rapport with people, that connection, finding, it's like to me, photography is the vulnerability of photography. It's like we're not comfortable in front of the camera, but there's a part of us that we have this secret within ourselves that we want everybody to know. It's like, I think with photography, it's like, it's my job to find that secret. It's like, I want to find that special uniqueness of somebody and pull it out of them. And I want them to look at the photo after and say, you found it. You found my secret, that thing of me that makes me feel special about myself. And you were able to take that out of me and to show it to other people, And I think as afraid as we are to show that to people, we want people to see that. It's our secret, I don't know if it's our sexy uniqueness. It's things that we want people to know, but we want them to figure it out on their own, Brazil, friends, were in Brazil, and the economy wasn't so great in Toronto at the time, going back 3-4 years ago. So a lot of productions weren't coming to Toronto, so I was sitting around really not doing much, and I thought, why not? I can go down to South America, try something new for myself, feed my soul, and pretty much that's what brought me here. It was just a challenge, build my portfolio. People in arts, it was through friends, actually. It was a friend called me. I had said, just that day, I said that my dream has always been to do an exhibition, and it's a fear of mine. I'm not embarrassed to admit to that, but it's a dream. It's a mixture, My pain, my art is my pain. It's my nemesis. I love it. It's a love-hate, bittersweet kind of relationship that I have with my photography. I think actually when I left Toronto, I said before I leave South America, I want to do an exhibition there. It was like I knew subconsciously that I would be doing it, and I think, and it was presented to me, and I took the challenge. So my friend had asked me to, do a series of people with tattoos. They wanted an approach of, to change people's minds. It's not just like a rock and roll industry, I remember getting my first tattoo when I was 23, and it was a really big deal, okay? And I'm not giving my age away here, but it was a long, long time ago. So, and I remember coming home with this little tattoo, and my mom, it was, it's in a hidden spot, nobody can see it, and my mom was showing my aunts and thinking, oh, my daughter is a radical, what a rebel. And it was like, it's like very small. And it was a really big deal. And this is going back quite a long time ago. And I'm thinking, now in Brazil, South America, I've been here 3.5 years, going on 4 years, and I've noticed that there's, it's been here for a long time, but really the younger generation and my generation, I went through the tattoo phase 10 years ago, whereas Brazil, South America, Sao Paulo, I guess it became really popular maybe 5 years ago, and it's been going on for a long time, but you don't really see a lot of older people, men and women with tattoos, where in North America you see the older generation, older than me, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, having tattoos because the military didn't prohibit it, actually. They were allowed to have, the sailors' tattoos and stuff like that. But for me, doing this project was really difficult. I would have loved to have photographed older person to show the differences in the tattoos and stuff like that, but it just wasn't there, I found it really, really difficult, actually. The language barrier, because I couldn't express what I needed, how I needed it done, financially, trying to do a project with a lower budget, which is fine. It's really difficult, but I think the universe just kind of came together on this one for me, because as difficult as it was for me, I ended up getting everything that I needed, and people volunteering, I am so grateful. And the people that were willing to help, it was just incredible. People came from nowhere, and I never expected this, actually, because living here, it has been difficult. As friendly as the culture is, I am very isolated because of the language, and it can be kind of superficial at times. People want to know you, but only temporarily. You don't really get to develop these deep relationships. So for this project, I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it because of this problem. And it was just amazing. Like, everybody just came together, and if it wasn't for a few specific people, I would have not done this project. I know this for sure. I'm a strong woman, but it would have been impossible if it wasn't for a few people, and I'm really grateful for that. He's the one that if it wasn't for Janka, I would have done this project. This guy rocks. Yeah.
Right on.
Right on. For sure. I think education. I think, television shows, reality shows bring a whole new light. They normalize things, Things, rather than keeping things in our imagination all the time, what we think is going on, we're showing it to the world, and the world kind of, at first they're like, oh, I can't believe, this is happening. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I saw it. It desensitizes us, I don't know if that's necessarily always such a great thing, like for children, because it's like, we get bored. We want something even more extreme, so what's going to be the next step? But for now, it's okay. Nothing radical has happened in North America. We've been through the tattoo phase already, I guess 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like where it hit the younger generation. It wasn't just, our grandfathers and uncles and stuff like that in the military getting tattoos, everybody was getting them. So it's just become part of the norm. I have been to LA. Love it. I was in West Hollywood. Absolutely love it. I love diversity. I've always been somebody who likes diversity. Maybe this is why I like São Paulo. It's very similar to Toronto. It's a melting pot. People come. It's a business city, but you have also artists, and you have a conglomeration of different types, and it makes it for a very interesting mix. So.